All right. Hello, everyone. Just going to make sure all of this is working, including sound. And then we'll get started here. Thank you all so much for joining us. Whew, what an afternoon. Although I feel better than I would feel if I just finished conducting a Roika. So there's that. Great. There we go. Okay. There we go. Okay, sound is good. So let's see. See if I can bring in my colleagues here. There we go. We got Jesse Barrett and Zimmerman. There we go.
Hi, Francesco.
Hi, Jesse.
Hi, Karen.
There we go. Hey,
Hi, Francesco.
Okay. Hi, you guys. Okay, let me turn off this background. I'm still learning here. There we go. A little cleaner there. Hey, you guys, thank you so much for taking a little bit of time to hang out with me. Good to see you both.
Very happy to see you both.
Yeah.
So I know people are slowly hopping on here, and great. And feel free to leave questions in the comments, everyone. We're on live, so we'll answer anything you want to throw in the comments, or most things that you want to ask in the comments. We can answer. But why don't we just let's just start? You know, Jesse, with you, I think you've played in all three programs. So
that's right.
Maybe. I mean, what has this experience been like? What has the trajectory been for you since October?
Yeah, I mean, I was so excited when we first started working on making this all happen, when we announced the recording projects and getting to bring this content out. I mean, I got so excited, and I mostly just hoped we'd be able to do it again. And not only did we get to do it again, we got to do it again. And it's just been, I mean, uplifting is not enough, heartening is not enough, strengthening is not enough to say how lovely of an experience it's been.
Yeah. Has it gotten I don't know, more comfortable? I mean, nothing is normal about this. Has it gotten any more comfortable over 3 months?
As you can see in the wind section, our space stations get a little different every time. So I like it because with more screens in between string players and myself, I get more small views of myself to check in on my embouchure while I'm staring right at you, Francesco, so I can do two things at once. So that has gotten easier.
Oh my goodness. Yeah, I mean, I love the new really clean plexiglass we got for this concert, but it's hefty. I mean, it is just...
I tested its heft when I ran into one of them. Not face first, luckily.
Oh my goodness. Well, Karen, how have things been for you? I think you played in our October set. I mean, you're around all the time as our librarian, right. But I think you played in our October set and December set?
Yes.
How has that felt in the bass section?
It's scary for us, really. It's like, so we're used to having a whole section, and now it's just two of us. So Andy is great. So, he's a great principal and a great leader. So that's good. But, chamber music for us is few and far between. And especially with Beethoven's third, it's like, there's nowhere to hide. So, you can't say, oh, he did it, point to your next guy. But it's been amazing. And I just feel really happy to be involved with everybody just coalescing so quickly and rehearsals and all. It's just, listening to them just sounds great. Just great.
Do you find yourself, because there's only 2 bass players instead of 7, do you play differently? Are you consciously playing differently? I mean, is there anything you're having to do to adjust to that?
Not really. You just are listening to another person as opposed to the section. And as a section, you have to kind of blend, which you wind players blend in your own sections.
Well, we try.
Yeah, you guys are great at it, but... we all have our little quirks, so we have to adjust and, just figure out how to do that. And with Andy, it's really predictable, so that's not a big thing,
Yeah, I've been really pleasantly surprised at how strong the bass is in these recordings. I mean, there's a lot of heft there. And this performance, we only had 2 cellos even, and still there is a lot of strength in that bass line, thank God. So you guys are doing, it's working.
Well, thank you. It's, Adele Akiko Kearns and Beth Vandervenay did a really stunning job making up for a loss of a cello, and just they really came out on the Eroica a couple of times. Like, whoa! It's like, yeah, as you said after the concert, you guys sounded like a whole section, and they did at times. I mean, it's like, whoa. So yeah.
The four of you really held down the fort, for sure.
Well, thank you.
Yeah, absolutely. Jesse, you and Laura sounded so great in the Vivaldi. That was just so much fun getting to do that together. But of course, one of the things is I didn't want to have to put as much plexiglass in front of you. We needed to have a clear view, which meant that you got shoved way back there. What is that experience of being, I'm sure you've had an experience of being a soloist where you're supposed to stand, and what is it like being way behind the orchestra like that on a piece that usually you wouldn't need a conductor because it's so,
That's right. That's right. It was challenging because you feel like even in a big space like that, it's not like you're worrying about an echo because that's kind of what the acoustic is built for, so you can hear each other. But as we were informed as the process went along, we are not used to being in the back. We're not like the brass. We're spoiled right in what I know that you as the conductor think that you are the cerebral center of the orchestra as far as sound is concerned, but I'm in the heart, and I really like that. So I'm used to that kind of sound and the way we respond. In this case, where I thought, and Laura and I thought we were right on time, we were not. So we had to adjust and be a little bit ahead of the beat to know and really hone in with our eyes on the bows of the string players, which is what chamber music's all about. So it was a challenge, especially since, of course, as we all know, we had relatively limited time and compared to what we usually are doing a week in advance. So it was a fun challenge. It was really fun.
Yeah. I mean, there really is a sense I find in these performances of we just have to let it go at a certain point. You do as much as you can, and then you really just have to, because I know I can sort of hear everyone pretty well, but I know you all are you just have to go for it. Because
Absolutely.
if you're worried too much, then we don't get anything done. And
truly. And at the very least, I was so happy to be up there with my colleague, Laura Reynolds. One of the first things when I got my job here a few years ago, one of the first things we got to play together was a Mozart 2-piano concerto, which features 2 oboes very prominently. And you have to really be in sync. So it was quite an opportunity for me to hopefully prove my muster. And Laura Reynolds is such a dream to play with. She and I have a outstanding professional relationship, and she knows I adore her. So having that aspect to be that much easier, we just could look at each other and go, okay, put those notes a little sooner, and we can kind of move forward together.
Yeah. When I was like a concerto with 2 oboes, I'm like, that's gonna be fine. Hopefully we'll never figure it out. So that's wonderful. Well, listen, everyone, for all of our viewers watching, remember, just hop in the comments and leave us some questions if you want us to talk about anything in particular. So far, a question, this is interesting because I'm not quite sure what exactly this is referring to. But Brenda asks, what did you all do after the performance? Which is interesting because normally, at least I go and, have a good night, like some good times usually, usually a drink to calm down. And then it's like a little bit of dinner. And you hang out with some people. It's best that I find to hang out with people because otherwise you replay it, the concert over and over and over and over. So I don't know, like for me now, I'm exhausted. I just go home and fall asleep. But what is it like for you, these 2 days of just relentless rehearsing? Maybe Karen, we'll start with you.
It's taxing mentally. And I drive an hour and Jesse drives an hour, so we have that to look forward to afterward. So it's different when it's when we have a live performance with audience and all of that because you get energized with it. Now you're really focused in on really connecting with the orchestra, and there's no after party. We have to leave, so we all say bye, and it's a little kind of a downer, but the earworms are going as you're driving home, so it's just fun.
Yeah. Wow. Jesse?
Yeah, I have to echo pretty much all of that. I mean, you know, we normally have this so much energy after a performance because, of course, there's so much of yourself that you put into it. Adrenaline alone is rushing, and that takes a while to come down from. So it is very interesting. I think over these last three sets, it's gotten a little easier every time, but it's also gotten a little harder every time. But the one thing that I felt very seriously, even as we went into another shutdown. So right after we recorded this, you know, we there's still this feeling of, you know what, we might get to do another one of these, and that was I don't know, it kind of changed it for me, made it not feel so sad, made it feel more like, you know what, we just did something special and we get to hear it again soon, and share it, and I'm looking forward to hopefully doing it again, you know.
Yeah. That's great to hear. Yeah, I realized something today about how much today means to me, because this whole week I have just been so entrenched in you know, the editing and how it's all coming together and getting the audio just right and get the mixes just right, and I'm just I find myself so stressed out because I just think, oh my god, it's not going to work. Like, it's not perfect. It's not. You know, because, you know, unlike the live performance that I can just let go, I can endlessly tweak this. Well, not endlessly, because then the director would have my head. But you know, I can critique and edit at least some and ask for certain changes. And so I find this week to be, I guess I didn't realize until today. I was like, oh, you know, it looks and sounds good. Like, people are happy with it, because I was so in the weeds, and you know, the five little things that, you know, weren't absolutely perfect, and I'm just, you know.
Well, yes. That's why we're glad to have you here.
Yeah.
But it's really, I mean, it does make a difference. Everyone that's here right now and everyone that's been commenting in the performance, it really does mean something to us, because in place of applause, we can actually in real time see the effect that our music is having on people. So we really are grateful to everyone that comes and hangs out with us and actually takes the time to leave a comment. It takes the place at least a little bit of applause, for sure.
I agree.
Yeah.
There's one, oh man, there's one more question I wanted to grab in here. There was definitely questions about why I made the violin stand, which maybe I'll just quickly address that. You know, it's one of the, you know, these are a series of variations in the fourth movement, and one of them is just so over the top. It's this Hungarian dance, and I've never quite achieved the sound that we achieved today. You know, it's always sounded too pretty. Everyone plays it a little too pretty, and even if they dig in, it just sounds louder, but it doesn't sound grittier. And I thought, well, you know, all things being equal, like, let's just go crazy and do something different here. And since you can't see their faces, at least they can stand up, so you can see the energy that goes into it. But also, you know, we're celebrating Beethoven's 250th, and these symphonies were performed with the violin standing up. And so I also wanted to do an homage to how Beethoven would have expected these pieces to be performed, which would be with the violin player standing up and really, you know, really digging in that section. So it was my little 30-second homage to that. And thanks to my colleagues in the violin section for, you know, not just going for it, just rolling with it.
You know, they should have shown the whole string section, because the Beth in the cello section had her legs swinging out, and Andy and I were playing all down bows and like swinging it, and it was an amazing thing. So yeah, it wasn't just the violins, we had fun too.
Yeah. Oh man, I mean, you could hear the bass, all the down bows, like that crack sound. I know it's weird, but like, I always get such a kick out of that when I hear that, and I'm like, yes, that's it. That's the sound.
Yeah, you know, all of my students want to play pretty, and I said, no, pretty's not so much fun. Nasty is more fun, you know.
Yeah, go to town. Hey, I want to finish up. You know, we got a question from Topher, and actually, I wanted to talk to you both about this, and I actually wanted to talk to the two of you as we finish out this year, because off stage, you two have been an integral part of making these performances happen, and obviously, I'm so grateful for the many extra hours and the extra effort that has gone into making these concerts possible. And Topher had asked, you know, what does Karen have to do as a librarian? Are there special challenges? And so maybe with both of you, with your roles, would love to talk about what's changed this year. So maybe, Karen, we can start with, maybe tell everyone what you generally do basically as a librarian, and then maybe what's sort of been different this time around.
Well, as a librarian, I get all the music together for every concert. is my job. And I usually have usually 9 months to get it together for the next season. Like I started in January to do October concert. Well, that totally fell apart, you know, and so then it was scrambling when you came up with your programming. It wasn't too bad to get the music in. So some of the music I get to buy and some I have to rent. It's the rentals that are because I have to get the rental company to send it to me. And you know, it's just, and then to get all the strings to bow the same way, the principals decide, and I have to put them all in the parts. The winds are on their own, as usual. So it's been a little different. It's been a little easier because I don't have any family concerts or pop concerts also. So that's let my time, I have more time to focus in on this. So that's what's really been the big difference is kind of less work, but more work really in a smaller space, you know, as the concert comes. So like I'm already trying to get January together. So
yeah, I was going to say, I think I'm probably keeping you pretty busy next year. Yeah.
Yes, you are, but that's
okay.
okay.
Greatly that we can't tell anyone yet what we're doing, but we're going to announce soon, everyone. We have a great lineup of concerts next year. So that's great to hear, Karen, and look forward to working with you on putting all of that music together. And Jesse, I mean, you've been in since, you know, day one when we realized we were going to have to rethink everything that we do, and all of your work on the musicians committee. We are so grateful for that. I mean, I can't tell you what it means to know that you are providing that kind of leadership for the membership of our orchestra. So thank you for that. And I know it's a constant job, but I mean, I can't even imagine what this year has entailed as far as what you've had to deal with. So maybe you could talk about in general. I don't think a lot of people actually know that there's someone like you that actually helps facilitate things with the orchestra. So maybe you can talk a little bit about that, and then what this process has been like for you this year.
Absolutely. So I'm just I'm the players chair, the chair of the players committee, which was actually handed off to me from Karen Zimmerman, who totally mentored me through the process and continues to help. So thank you, Karen. Also, I'm very fortunate because I have a lot of musicians who have a lot of opinions that come from a lot of education and a lot of different viewpoints. And in this time, that is so helpful, when it comes to developing safety protocols. So my job is to be the liaison from the musicians to arts administration, management, and with you in just kind of artistic planning. In this case, some safety protocols, if there are any concerns the orchestra members have, anything safety-wise, because I know a lot of people have been asking who have not been able to be there, what is it like to plan for all of this, If there's ever any moment where a musician feels uncomfortable or anything like that, they can bring it to me and we can all talk about it, and then I'll take it right to all of you wonderful people who are making this happen, and then we fix it and make it better. And it's been so special to be a part of it from the very beginning. Who knows the amount of Zooms we've had? Who knows the amount of phone calls? Thank you, Francesco, for being so open with being able to communicate with the orchestra about what's going on throughout the entire summer and at the end of spring. It was really meaningful to all of us, and I think the community, just how the orchestra has been able to adapt. So getting to see where it's coming from every point of view, from the musicians, from your point as an artistic leader in the community, and for us, and from our admin team. It is a rarity to get to work with a team like that this much and with such a volume, and to be able to have an outcome like this.
Yeah.
Stay tuned, everyone.
Yes.
Yeah, well, that's just it. It really is an incredible team we have, and the two of you are such an integral part of facilitating it and making this all possible. And what a fall we've had, and we're gonna keep this going just as long as it takes to get everyone back in the hall, and just love what's being able to happen. So thank you both so much for your work. Wishing you and your loved ones very wonderful holiday season, and let's get 2020 done with. Let's move on. So, and to
Yeah.
everybody else watching, thank you all so much for being on this journey with us. We appreciate your support, your love, your enthusiasm. We feel it. It keeps us going. And we can't wait to bring you so much more music in the new year. So,
Yes.
Jesse and Karen, thank you.
Oh, thank you, Francesco, and happy holidays to you.
Thanks, Francesco. Thanks, Karen.
Take care. Bye everyone.